minutes. Okay. Hi, Karen. Happy Monday. I'm always thrilled to see you, but
Oh,
especially today. This is the highlight of my day. It's wonderful to see your gorgeous face.
Katie, what a beautiful introduction. Welcome. Hello. Thank you. It is always wonderful to see your beautiful face. And I have said it before, I'll say it again. Like, if Making It Work was a podcast, we are it.
We are it. We are it. People, okay, so behind the scenes, BTS, I don't know, are we just using BTS now? Um, but here it is. So, Karen, you're at home in beautiful Homewood, Illinois, and I am at my childhood home, but not exactly. I'm actually at my childhood library in a windowless study room, and my computer is propped up on an empty trash can. So, making it work.
My
Yes, it is.
God.
It's happening.
Ooh. Commitment is also the word that you used earlier, and that is
Yes.
legit.
Yes, we are so committed to this pod, Karen. And I mean, as you have said, we are entering our Michelle Obama slash Beyonce era. And so, which we will explain later, folks. But yeah, no, it's nice to have a moment of normalcy. I have to say, and I'm wondering if you ever have this experience, Karen, where I have been noticing that like podcasts are actually, I mean, our podcast, of course, but also other podcasts I've listened to when I'm traveling, they are actually my touchstone of normalcy. It's almost like I'm talking to a friend. And I wonder if people who are listening are like, oh, I totally get that. And Karen and Katie are my two BFFs. Hopefully, you all feel that. Friends, we love you also. But also, like, I find that, like, if I'm in another country or another state or really honestly anywhere, and I'm just like, maybe I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I put on my favorite pod, it actually kind of like makes me feel better. But I actually think that same experience happens when I have my computer propped up on a trash can at the study room in my childhood thing, my childhood library. So, it works both ways.
Yes. I completely agree that yes, pod podcasts are touchstone and just a reminder of like I just feel like it reminds me of who I am. I feel like
Yes.
slightly more grounded when I'm like out in the world and like what is going on? Where am I? Who am I? Especially, around family. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know if you have this experience. It's the experience so many of us have being in our places of origin with families of origin, the reversion that happens in your brain of like, oh, I'm fill in the blank years old, not however old I actually am. And so, yeah, touchstone.
Yeah.
I love that word for it.
Yes. The reversion.
Mm.
Oh, I could go on. Yes. I could go on. Yes, I do actually. I mean, yes to all of that. And I do have a small addition to this is a deep cut for our longtime listeners. But back in, oh boy, spring of 2023, when I was recording in my childhood bedroom with you, Karen, and I was telling you about how I have a cedar chest at the end of my bed that has my, oh no, you don't want to talk about this. Okay.
Oh no, I was no, I was just
You
like,
know what
oh
I'm
God,
going to say.
oh God.
With the hair of my great grandmother.
Yeah.
Yes. So for our new listeners, so there is a cedar chest at the end of my childhood bed that is like I don't know, hundreds of years old, like legit for real. Anyway,
Wow.
and my great grandmother, my mom's father's mother, who I never met, who died when my mom was in sixth grade, we have a paper bag of her beautiful auburn brown hair. If that's not creepy enough, my mom this week was like, hey, would you want to go upstairs and look in that cedar chest? And I was like, not gonna pass. And then she was like, well, because there's actually these really cool dolls up there. And I was like, also creepy as fuck. No. And she's like, also, there is a fox shawl. And I was like, wow, what? And she's like, well, way back in the 1800s, or I guess I guess you'd call it 1900, so like before the 20th century, they used to keep the heads of the foxes on the shawls. And so there are a few fox heads in that cedar chest. Karen, I was like, Mom, we're done with this conversation. Like, I was like, I can't. I'm not looking at the fucking fox heads at the end of my bed. But also, what? Seriously, I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. also, why wouldn't I just throw away her hair? But I guess at this point,
Oh no, you can't throw it away now. I mean, it's also it's like a talisman now. It's like that you'll be haunted for life if you throw that hair
I
away.
think you're right. I think you're right. Waste management cannot have that hair. No, like
Oh no, 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 no. Uh-uh. Ju my vote, if it counts, is don't touch the hair, don't discard the hair, don't look directly at the hair. Just let it just exist there.
let it exist with the fox heads from like 1850. What the
Wait,
fuck?
wait, have the fox heads always been in there?
Apparently, I haven't really done a lot of digging in that cedar chest because the bag of hair is at the top,
I
and
can't.
so I've never really gotten much farther into the creepy ass dolls and the fox heads. Like what? I just anyway,
Oh,
that's my update from
I'm
my
dying
home.
inside. Dying inside. I, as you know, have been referring to this as my holiday rom-com era. I've moved back to my
Yes.
small
Oh
hometown.
my God, talk about that. Yes.
Well, what you just said is going in this screenplay somewhere. I don't know where, but it's going in there. Going home, your childhood bedroom, cedar chest, bag of hair, fox heads, Katie, it's writing itself.
I mean, honestly, Karen, I'm happy to be your weird, weird BFF. Like that, I can be a side
Oh
character
my
in
God.
your main character show. Which, P.S., can we please talk about your
Oh
rom-com
God.
era, like Christmas tree lighting sitch? Because I saw this on Instagram and it was so adorable.
So wholesome. Oh my gosh, Homewood, you're just it's Mayberry, it's Stars Hollow if you're a Gilmore Girls fan. Yeah, I mean, one of the things my cousin Opal, shout out to you, Opal said to me when I moved into where I live is that like, oh my God, the Homewood Christmas tree is super close. Like the holiday festivals, all this time in downtown Homewood, it's all super close to you. And it kind of registered and kind of didn't. And then I saw that the holiday festival was on Friday night and that the Christmas tree was being lit. And I did not realize how very close to me it is. But yeah, I happened to not happen to. I planned to be there for the Christmas tree lighting. I did not realize how close to it I was going to be, and that I was going to be in the crowd as they counted down,
Oh
lighting
my
this thing.
God.
Oh man, it was so hilarious. Not pictured in that video is me with my camera juggling my holiday mug of mulled wine. It was what I
Yes.
my entire winter coat is just covered in mulled wine, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave it.
Oh no, it's spilled.
Oh my God, all over me. I mean, I'm walking, I'm filming, I'm drinking the mulled wine. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Wait, were they giving out mulled wine at the holiday festival?
Oh, you could buy it in a souvenir mug that actually is also very wholesome and cute.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I love this for you. Like, this is so great. Okay, tell me that you could even walk to it from your house. Like, could you, like,
I don't want to give away too
you're
much
right.
because
That's fair. Nope, not at
it's a
all.
small
No, it's
town.
multiple hours away in a weird direction that no one will figure out. So,
That's
yes.
exactly right. And especially given our topic for today, I don't want people knowing where I live because people are weird
Mm,
on the internet.
fair,
Yeah.
fair, fair, fair. I can edit that out also. Yes. Don't be weird, people. Don't
Oh
be
my
weird.
God.
Seriously. Okay, let's jump right into it because I know we don't have a lot of time. So I
Okay.
love your ideas, always, Karen. So please,
Mm.
please, please.
Katie, as usual, you are my muse. Thank you for being game for these weird ideas I have. So, a couple plug. I will start with a couple plugs that listeners, as you know, we are also on YouTube, and sometimes we post the video of us talking on YouTube, and especially if we have guests, we post the video of us talking. But we also have software that automatically posts a video, quote unquote, I'm making air quotes, a video that's really the static image of our logo and the audio of the episodes. And that's every episode we put out is on YouTube. And so that the plug is please go like and
Yes,
subscribe to our
like and
channel.
subscribe. Yes, because
We've
then we'll be able to get a lot of amazing sponsors and make tons of cash.
and tons of just like making it rain out here.
Yes,
We've 24 subscribers right now. I'd love to get to 30 at some
yes,
point.
please.
So uh you sent me, Katie, thank you, a clip of us talking. Um It's from the Frank conversation about post-election conversation episode, and it blew up for us on YouTube. Out of nowhere, I posted it as a short, and it's got something, as of right now, 647 views, which for us is a ton. I mean,
That's a ton. That
it's the
is,
above, yeah, 24 subscribers, right?
yeah. I mean, we're very famous now.
Oh my gosh. So then yesterday, I was like emboldened by this success, and yesterday posted a video of Tanya, Dr. Tanya Israel. Hello, Tanya,
Hi,
making
Tanya.
this great point about the election. There will be more. She had so many gems in that episode. And I dropped one and it has 500 views in a day.
Wow. But like, actually, that's actually a big deal. Like, that's a big deal.
So I have been tinkering then with YouTube, and a couple things have emerged to me. So, okay, Katie, given who you and I are, how we met, the makeup of our audience, if you had to guess the gender breakdown of our viewers on YouTube, what would you guess?
Let's see. I would guess that they were female identifying individuals between the ages of 31 and 65. Or, I mean, maybe 80, or just female identifying individuals. Plus, you, Dad, I know I really appreciate you. Thank you for listening. You might be the only guy. Tyler does not listen. So he used to, but he's now into only soccer podcasts. It's okay.
Oh my God, bless you, Dad. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so what percentage would you guess of our audience is male? And YouTube does not, I guess YouTube has a other, they don't really create space on YouTube analytics for like gender non-conforming or non-binary, like it's male and female. So what percentage, if you had to guess, is male and what percentage is female?
I honestly bet it's less than 1%, truly. Like, I mean, I would hope that more men listened, really. Like, I mean, honestly, but like, I think it's probably less than 1%.
Okay, so Katie, and again, not rehearsed, not scripted. Katie, you do not know this. Our audience on YouTube is 70% male.
Wait, what?
70% male, 29% female, and 70% male.
Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. This is breaking my brain. Okay, so hold on. So just to review. So we're posting on YouTube our videos, and 70% of the people who are watching are male identifying people.
Correct.
That's so interesting, but why? Like,
I
why? I
don't
mean, that's great,
know.
but like, I'm not like anti that, but like, what?
Well, and I'm getting to the motivation for this particular theme is that I don't know what percentage of these men are just delighting and listening to stupid women. And one of them made a comment referring to us as stupid little girls
Oh,
talking. Like, I don't think they're like here to like enlighten themselves on feminism. I think I don't know what they're doing here. But yeah, no,
oh,
YouTube is weird. And I really wanted to make something just making clear that like yeah, women aren't stupid. We're not little girls. Uh I run a feminist magazine. Katie, you wrote for said feminist magazine. Women are amazing. We are here to empower and inform women. And what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Oh no, I just
wow. Okay, that's Karen. Thank you for bringing to light this underbelly of
yeah.
YouTube, or just mainstream YouTube, sadly, maybe. But like, this is okay. Feelings. I just gotta like get that out.
No.
I gotta stretch it out. Okay, fellas who are saying that we're small little girls or whatever,
Yeah.
cute little, no, what, I don't even know what the heck, something. Yeah, so this show is for people who believe in feminist ideals and human rights and kindness and compassion. And please just go to Joe Rogan if you're not into that. Thanks so much. Peace out. Like, that's just, I flicked off the camera, folks.
Oh my God. Or Mr. Beast or like the Manosphere.
Options. The manosphere.
It's just, I don't, I, yeah, I feel like it was eye-opening, obviously, in a lot of different ways. And it made me realize that I have had the luxury of taking for granted that we all feel the same way, and that like we don't need to be explicit about why women's power is important.
Yes.
And I'm realizing that the larger conversation, that I've been shielded from the larger conversation about gender, and that the larger conversation about gender in this country is really fucking ugly. And
Yeah.
so I really, it just was a good, again, grounding for me in like, oh, this is what we stand for. So thank you very much, Katie, for stating that so clearly.
I so appreciate you bringing this to light. Honestly, Karen, and I think it's important for us to be explicit. You're right. I think that I don't intuitively think that that's even necessary because I'm like, oh, well, of course. But you're right. Like, I don't think that like taking it for granted is, it's not helpful to like take it for granted, I guess. I just appreciate you bringing that to light. I mean, it's just, I think there's so much, women have so much power. And I mean, I think that the men, if they are listening to this, I want to hope that they are being inspired and enlightened. And if they're not, and if this is not your jam, guys, like, you know what? Godspeed. Like you can just, like find your own channels and that's great. But also like, yeah, there's so much beautiful power that women have. And there's so much like, I mean, gosh, Karen, you're right. Like we're surrounded by people who believe in the rights of women and the rights of, female identifying and gender nonconforming people and all of it. Like it's like there's just there's so much beauty in that. I mean, I will say that like I know that I mentioned this to you right before we hit record, but like I had a situation seriously 30 minutes ago where I was at a coffee shop with Tyler and my mom for breakfast and we were chit-chatting and I was talking about some stuff with work and whatever. And like we were gathering our coffee cups and this woman, I'm not going to say little girl, woman, she is a college student. And she came up and she looked right at me and she's like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt." And like the three of us turned around. She was like really kind and she was like, I hope it's okay, but I've been listening to your conversation and your job." She's talking to me. She's like, "Your
Oh,
job sounds really interesting and I just wonder what you do." And I was like, "Oh, wow." And I was so impressed, Karen. It ended up being this really great conversation. We exchanged information. Like, I'm going to talk to her. She's like trying to explore what she wants to do for work. She's in a similar field and it was just like the power of women. It's like the power of women to just like stand up and be like, you know what? Like I'm not gonna let this pass me by. And like I even said to her and I literally said it like she kept talking, we kept talking and like we had to go, but like she wasn't like keeping us up or anything or like, like holding us up at all. It was just really pleasant, honestly. And I was like, you remind me of me. And she was like, oh, thanks. And I was like, you're gonna be fine. Like she was like, I just don't really know what I'm gonna do. And I was like, the like the how did I say it? But I was basically just like the fact that you're coming up to strangers and talking about what you want to do and being inquisitive and curious, like you're gonna do great. Like you are. And she was just like,
mm.
thank you so much. And so we're gonna chit chat and I'm happy to, talk to her. But it's like that is like just grabbing life by the horns, which women constantly do, and they like support each other and like asking for help. And this is also like, I know I'm going on a tangent soapbox, but basically, like, even the people who are listening, it's like if you want to connect with someone, no one's better than another person. Like, see how it goes. Like lately, this is a sidebar, but I have been wanting to get in touch with Maggie Rogers for a project that I'm working on.
Oh
And
my
Maggie Rogers,
God.
for those of you who don't know, is like this incredible singer songwriter who is, I stalk her on Instagram and she was at the White House last night, which doesn't actually help my ego because I'm like, oh, she is such a big deal. But also, you know what? It's okay. Why not? Like, I'm going to see if she wants to participate in something. And it's like, she can say no, but it's like the power of women to want to help each other is very strong. And I'm sure, Karen, you've had 1,000 people come up to you for that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh. That's very kind, but no. And I'm so excited and I just love that interaction. And I hope that it also, I don't know. I mean, you already know you're a badass, but hopefully it was just like, oh, right. Like, I think it's easy to be hard on ourselves and not recognize like how we look to other people.
Yeah, that's so real. Oh my gosh, thank you for saying that. But you're right. It's like we just live in our own. orb.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love
It's
that.
so
Well, and
true.
I love that you said you're going to be okay. I do really feel like one of the things being back in my hometown, of course, I'm remembering all of the conversations and all of the things I experienced while living here, and just how discouraging people were.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, no, 1,000%. I mean, obviously, I had people who were encouraging, but like, oh, Karen, you're never going to get into the University of Illinois. You're never going to be able to do this. You're never going to be able to do that. Right? Wow. Yeah. I mean, I just wonder, and I don't think the world is that different now because it is men our age who are professors and shit. Like, I just wonder how many interactions that young woman has had with people who are not telling her, you're going to be fine and this is why, but are her telling, oh, maybe that dream is too big. Maybe you should try
Mm,
this. Maybe, right? Trying to limit in her and make her small. And I
yes.
just love that you were able to give her something that wasn't that.
Yeah, I love that. And you're so right. I mean, I have countless examples of that in my own life. Like, I mean, I went to Michigan State and my professors very explicitly were like, just so you know, you're going to need to go into something other than journalism. After graduating from journalism school, you're
Oh
never
my
going to actually
God.
make a life as a journalist. Like, I mean, like for real though. Like, unless you want to work for the Detroit Free Press, like, and there are only a limited number of jobs. And I'm just like, okay, so I didn't go
Wow.
into journalism. I went into PR because I actually really thought I was never going to make a living as a writer. And it's just like, yeah, it's interesting. It's like, and that's also encouragement for others who are listening to encourage others. You never know what you say could be helpful, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, why it's important to be mindful. It's about what we say to other people and what we say to ourselves and catching our own negative self-talk and shit.
totally. And yeah, exactly what we say to ourselves. I mean, that's the mic drop. Yeah, it's so real. It's so real. And it's like, it's such an, like, I haven't even processed it because it was so recent. So I appreciate talking with you about it, Karen. And it's like, it's just, yeah, it's like seeing myself through the eyes of like a 20-year-old. I'm just
Yes.
like, oh, because for me, I'm not different than her. Like I honestly, like, I'm like, oh, I'm basically 21 in my mind, or maybe like 27. I don't know what is the age. And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm 43. And then it's like, but I don't know. You just, do you ever have that where you're like, wait, how am I this age? Like, I don't feel this age.
Oh my God. Every second of every day.
Yes.
It's like, the fuck? What? Oh God. Yeah.
Totally, totally. Like I remember my grandmother when she was like 96 or 97, she gave me this poem that she found in Reader's Digest, and it was all about how it was like an old woman looking in the mirror and what she saw. It was actually a beautiful poem about like how she saw herself as this like vivacious, young, wrinkle-free, like just like super, active person. And then she's like, so it doesn't like there's a disconnect, like that you don't realize. And yeah, it's hard when we're like batting around like a pinball machine in our own brains, and it's nice to have like outside input. So friends, we're your outside input, that you're all badasses.
You are, and that you have a ton of wisdom and experience, and that perimenopause is a bitch, and it's not you. It really is perimenopause. Whatever you are going through, it is probably some hormonal shit. I just feel like it's important to say that because people don't realize that perimenopause can last so very long and that like things start to go awry and you're like, am I crazy? And you gaslight yourself because all of these things are happening and they don't make sense to you. And I just would suggest to you, if you have brain fog, if you have all kinds of weird shit happening, that shit's real.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. No, and also to wrap it up to the YouTube trolls, just, please, like, move it along. And also, explicitly, we are a feminist, like, human rights forward podcast that believes in compassion and kindness. And if you want to write comments, then that's your business, but please don't, because unless you want to write really nice comments, friends, please just pepper us with a nice comment. That's great. It's
Yes,
helpful to us.
exactly. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I love that. Yes, that is lovely. Yes. And my cousin Diane, hello, shout out to you, Diane, did leave a couple of very funny, very sweet comments. So thank you for that. Yeah, it's a real weird world that we live in.
It is. It really is. And for thank you, Diane. Really, you are a savior for our mental health. And also, also for the what is it like the massive percentage of male listeners? Hi, friends. We can be friends with you. Just be a person, a nice one. Thanks so much. Yeah. PSA.
Whew. Yeah.
Okay, so we're good. It's great to see you, Karen, and thanks
Mm.
everybody for listening, and we will see you next week.